Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the wild evolution of BMW. We're going to trace how a BFW offshoot completely transformed from its pretty humble early days into the multi-billion-dollar global powerhouse we all know today. If you are fascinated by automotive history, fierce corporate rivalry, and just sheer brilliant engineering, well, you're in the right place. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our chronological roadmap for today. First, early history and the R32. Second, the luxury sedan evolution. Third, SUVs and global expansion. And finally, number 4, Rolls-Royce and modern innovations.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Early History and the R32.
Let's move along and see how this all builds up. So, Bayerische Flugzeugwerke, or BFW for short, they really laid the crucial groundwork for the brand. But the true, undeniable turning point, that happened at the Paris Motor Show with the debut of the BMW R32. Now notice I didn't say car. The R32 was a motorcycle, and it was a massive milestone for them because this was their very first complete vehicle manufactured entirely from the ground up.
It's honestly kind of wild to think that today's multi-billion-dollar global manufacturing titan didn't start out building luxury cars at all. They started on 2 wheels. But you know, that foundational DNA, a lightweight frame, a super solid high-revving engine, and just this relentless drive for performance, that is exactly what built the empire we see dominating the roads right now. Those early motorcycle beginnings and motorsports operations literally paved the way for all their future car engineering.
Moving right along to Section 2, the luxury sedan evolution. Now, what's really interesting about this is that BMW didn't just want to, casually participate in the luxury market. No way. They wanted to conquer it. They took direct aim at the reigning champion of the time, the Mercedes-Benz W108. BMW's answer? The iconic E9 and the launch of the 7 Series. They offered this totally distinct blend of executive luxury paired with sheer driving performance, and it directly challenged the absolute dominance of the W108.
And then, boom. Enter a legendary engineering milestone, the number 12. As in, the introduction of the very first V12 engine for their fleet, placed inside the magnificent 750i luxury sedan. I mean, this completely changed the landscape of automotive power and prestige. It sent a massive shockwave straight through the German auto industry. It was this bold, undeniable statement proving BMW wasn't just matching their competitors anymore, they were thoroughly out-engineering them. And to expand that offensive, the M-Series became BMW's ultimate global weapon. They were out for blood, aiming directly at American muscle like the Ford Mustang GT, domestic powerhouses like the Mercedes-Benz 450 SCL 6.9, and eventually even Japanese precision like the Lexus LS. It proved that a highly refined, super aggressive car could absolutely dominate on the track and the street, no matter who the competitor happened to be.
Which brings us to Section 3, SUVs and global expansion.
So, the crucial point here is how they adapted to a changing world. To conquer the exploding SUV market, BMW set up a massive factory in South Carolina, making it the global home for building the legendary X5 and X6 models. By manufacturing right in the heart of the world's biggest utility vehicle market, the United States, BMW completely optimized their global strategy and secured a massive foothold in a fiercely competitive new segment. And this brilliantly illustrates the heavyweight fight they were stepping into. The X5 and X6 weren't exactly entering an empty arena. They were purpose-built to defeat established titans like the Jaguar F-Pace, the legendary Land Rover Discovery, and of course their eternal rival, the Mercedes-Benz GLE. To succeed, BMW had to inject their signature sports sedan dynamics into a heavy utility vehicle. They essentially had to set a totally new benchmark for how an SUV should actually drive. But here's the thing. While they were pouring billions into SUVs, they never abandoned their roots. Even during all this massive global expansion, BMW kept the pressure dialed up on the sports car market, going toe-to-toe against the Mercedes-Benz SLC class and the Porsche 718. Going up against a purist driving machine like the 718, that is no small feat. But it proved beyond a doubt that BMW could successfully juggle multiple, wildly different automotive battlefronts all at once.
All right, on to our final chapter. Section 4, Rolls-Royce and modern innovations.
Talk about an ultimate corporate power move. Securing the Spirit of Ecstasy and the Rolls-Royce grille-shaped trademark represents one of the most fascinating maneuvers in all of automotive history. By acquiring the literal crown jewels of British luxury, BMW cemented its overarching power and elevated its own status to the absolute pinnacle of the global automotive hierarchy. Just an incredible strategic play.
But alongside all that ultra-luxury, modern market demands forced some pretty unexpected adaptations. Entered the BMW Active Tourer MPV. Now, why does this matter? Well, it's BMW's very first front-wheel drive car. For a brand whose entire identity, their whole purest appeal, was historically built around rear-wheel drive performance, this was a massive, highly debated departure from their traditional engineering. But it proved that to capture new consumer segments, even the most steadfast legacy brands must evolve.
So look at this journey, from a single motorcycle in Paris, to a V12 luxury sedan, to an American-made SUV, and even a front-wheel drive family car. BMW's history is an absolute masterclass in adaptation. And it leaves us with this final thought: how must legacy brands adapt their core engineering to survive the modern global market? Take a second to think about how the companies you admire are shifting their foundational DNA just to stay alive and thrive today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.